What is going on, everybody? I made a whole bunch of changes. I hope you like them. Let's get started with the show.
It's your boy Bleed. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm a real go-getter. Rock a fur coat, but it's not chinchilla. Who's that dude with the master plan? It's Mr. Pinecone with the mic in my hand. I ball on a budget, got a bag full of nuggets. Living life to the fullest before I'm kicking the bucket. No time for the haters, I'm the meat and potatoes. I'm the product of Anunnaki and godly invaders. You wanna go down the rabbit hole? Well, come along with me. Let me phone home. Let me take you on the trip to the Pleiades or the Seven Seas. We can sail them all. Bring your dungarees and your toothbrush, your knapsack. We'll have a nightcap, then I'll bring you back. Mr. Pinecone's come a long, long way, so everybody get sideways. Sing it. I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways. Pass the bottle back my way. Everybody's getting sideways.
What is going on, Believers? I hope everybody's having a great evening. My name is Believes. This is Bedtime with Believes. Now, this one is pre-recorded. I am working some things out, trying to figure out a few different things, camera angle, studio, all kinds of different stuff right now. But I also, as you saw, redid the intro. I'm going to redo. There are going to be a few more different little things that come along over the course here. I'm going to try to structure this show a little bit more like an actual show. So this is going to be my preamble. This will be the slot where I start talking about what we are going to talk about for the night. And for the night, we're going to talk about some technical analysis. We're going to look in on Terra Luna Classic. We're going to do a quick check-in on Bitcoin, Ethereum. We're going to have some discussion about Volt Inu, which is going out of its mind right now. We're going to look in on some of the tokens that we have in our ecospace. We're going to have a conversation about Uniswap. Kwon is out making the news again. And Lillian Bay Foundation has something going on pretty soon. I'm going to be hosting tomorrow a Utilities in Action Deconex Spaces on YouTube. I guess I shouldn't say Spaces. And yeah, so let's kick it off with our first thing. We're going to get into what we would call technical analysis. And here's a sweet little intro to introduce you to that. All right, guys, here we are. So what we are looking at right now is that line that we've been talking about, and we've been talking about this for a while right now, right? It has held up strong every single way that we've gone, right? It held up here, held up here. It's dipping down right now. Looks like it might hold up here. We're at 20,207 on the Bitcoin price. We go look at the Ethereum price. I did a whole lot of drawing on this one a little bit earlier, but I think you guys got the point on this one. I do think that we are probably in the middle of getting ready to move. Now you can see here that we did drop down just a little bit below that go line, which we're going to keep calling a go line as we hit 1532. Now the pressure is on for Ethereum to continue to move up because it was having quite a little movement here. And if we go back and we look at the price action in the longer term, then I think this line really kind of holds up because we've got all of these points of contact down here that continued for a long period of time. So I've got this feeling that when we look at this, that this number is probably going to play out pretty well. Now, when you look at the 4-hour chart, you see pretty much the same thing. We're addressing that line, and we've got some news that we're going to go over very shortly, in which you will see that there are a lot of people saying that what I'm talking about right here about where it's going, up in here into this range right here is probably the next move before we have a little bit of a crash and a little bit of a come down. But that is what the chart looks like. So let's move on to Luna Classic, and you can see right here, after having all these crazy moves, after having this little downward sort of pressure, I told you what I think was going to happen. And guess what? Starting to play out that way. So we've got a few hours over here of nice green candles as it's moving along. Now, we had the same thing after we had our big sell-off. We had it, it's kind of right there. So here we are with this. We'll probably have some more downside coming, but then we should get some sort of lift off over here. Probably, look, I want to say it's 32. Yesterday I said 34. I'm retracing that just a little bit, maybe 32, something like that. USTC is kind of trending on that line right now, as you saw it trended on this line before. So any moment now, we should probably see a little spike up here to about 56, 57, and that's where I think it's going to go. Dogecoin has started to continue its way down towards the bottom. Now, the market is a little bit in wait and see mode. So as you're going up and down these charts, you'll see Matic having a great time. Matic is just going crazy. But the important part is the Dow Jones, which was doing fine early in the day, suddenly turned its tail and started to flee profit. Down 146.5 on the day. The DXY continuing to spike right now. U.S. oil prices continue to recede, and you see a lot of red in the market, but you don't see any dangerous sort of red. You don't see massive drawdowns. You're just seeing corrections based on information that's coming out. And when we come out over here and we look at the total market, we're not seeing much of a change. We're just seeing some more of that sideways sort of action that we've been seeing for the last little while. So it just looks like a continuation, although it's a continuation at a higher level than we were at before. It looks like we're going to probably settle around this 960, 970 range yet again. Hopefully, we can kind of push it up in here to the trillion, but that remains to be seen. And that's going to be dependent on the type of pump and the type of impetus that we can get going on. And you can see over here, by the way, that Volt is just having a moment. So we're going to come over here. We're going to look at the charts on Volt. And you can see right here, it's up to 89.45, up 14.6 points on the day. Now at about a 60 million market cap, 89.45. It's up 30% on the week. It's up 15% on the day. We haven't even gotten to the point where the announcements are coming, but the announcements are said to be epic, and they're going to be some game changers. And it's been a long time coming for Volt. I hope that this plays out to the best possible advantage for Volt and the Volt community, because Voltoshi, I would say, of all people, has kind of earned a good push. Now, I do think that we've got a ways to go to get to that all-time high, of course. So let's take a moment and let's recognize how high that all-time high is up here at about a 350,000 market cap. So we do have a long way to go. So I do hope we get it, and we'll see what happens. WAGMI, on the other hand, is up 12.5%, 13% on the day. I'm going to be showing you a video on WAGMI in just a little while, so stick with me if you're interested. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell to be notified, and leave a comment. And if you watch this later, leave a comment down there as well. But we're going to watch that in just a few minutes. Lilly Foundation over here is up 8% on the day to 30.49, just continuing to deliver for its investors. Now, when you look at the chart over here and you get an idea of the chart action, you saw this accumulation. This big draw up has been happening for a period of time. We're looking at day candles, by the way. And then we had a correction, but we didn't have much of a correction. We literally found a few lines of support here. And now we've got some impetus and some catalysts moving us back upwards. Swing down, you can see here, is still trying to find its way. It's, if you look at the, sorry about that, you look at the 1 hour chart, you can see it had a nice little run for the last little while, but in the last 3 hours, of course, as is always the case, you have just a little bit of sell-off towards the end of the day. So that's what's going on there. Hulk Inu is up 2.5%. You saw a little bit of action moving to the upside, but it's $1,000 trading on the day. So very minimal. You come over to MMAI, pretty much the same thing, $3,000 in trading. New token. The world hasn't found MMAI yet. They're working diligently in the background, so we'll see what happens there. Kodachi, we had some Kodachi content that came out a little bit earlier today. There is a Mr. Big Wheel AMA happening. There's also going to be another one with Travlad that's happening, and we will see what happens there. But I think you should be excited with Kodachi because you are looking at a liquidity pool of 652,000 off of a market cap of 817,000. That is an absolutely strong token right there. We'll look into the liquidity lock a little bit later on. You can see it's starting to count down here. So we'll see what that says. But for right now, we're going to leave that be. We're going to move on over here. Terrarium has not made a move yet, and we have not seen the announcement of the actual exchange launch, even though we were told that it would be happening at the beginning of November. And now that's probably a slip up, or that's open to interpretation. So just because it's not here yet doesn't mean that it won't be. We're waiting for the announcement. We haven't gotten an official anything yet, but as soon as we get the announcement, I expect that we will probably start to see a real sort of spike in the price right now. So if you're looking for a buy zone right now, then you are looking at a really good sort of buy area. Remember, over here, we've had this little resistance spot and support area right here, and now we're just kind of bouncing around off of it at 88.93. Now, we did not think at one point that it could go any lower than where we were, and we did get that little nasty dunk down here. Don't think anything of that. That's just a small correction down towards that bottom side, and it was followed by, what is it, a 50-point lift? That was almost 70 to, that's 20, drop to zero, so 40% lift. We had a 40% lift here from the 22nd all the way up here. So now it's correcting down because people got excited thinking that it was going to happen on the first. Didn't happen on the first, so now we've got this downward movement. So we'll follow up with that, and we'll keep checking in to see what's going on. And we'll also kind of look over here as we go through this process and see what we see on Ethereum. But Deconnect still just kind of trading 11,000 in trading volume for the day, about 3 times higher than some of these other ones right now. But it was to the bad on the day because there was a little bit of sell-off. More buy-in than sell-off when it comes to like pure volume, but still, you know, a couple of big sales that happened over there, not hurting the chart, not hurting the price action very much, but we do want to keep an eye on it. And I am told that Yakuza Inu is about to have another run right now. Now, if you look at this chart over here, this has been how it is, and this is what I'm predicting is about to happen up here, probably settling in at 2025. From a position right now of 1107. If it continues this sort of move right here, this little pump that they've got going on, and if you pay attention here, then you see that we've spiked up here, we've spiked up here, we've spiked up here, and you take it back, and we spiked here. So you know there's precedent right here saying that this is the support line, and that this is probably where the next pump is going to go. And that being said, hopefully we see a nice little pump up to about 200,000 market cap. If we see that, that's going to be a really good. It's going to be a really good feeling for a lot of different people. So hopefully we'll see that happen. And I think that is probably it for all of the technical analysis. I know we're not digging in deep today. This is the first time that we're doing this, so you know we're kind of winging it for the moment. I should say, though, Shido has been just kind of banging it out right now, up 86% and 27% on the day, having a nice little move to the upside right here. Now, the one thing that you should be concerned about would be the number of holders. There's 782 holders, so we're not lighting the world on fire, but the important thing about it is it's still making positive move, and that should not be dismissed and should be recognized. So there's still a lot of positivity coming out of it. Probably most probably if we move around here, then we'll probably see, yeah, there's probably a little bit of artificial pump going on to try to keep the price active and moving, but it should be recognized that could also just be a bunch of people making plays and they're buying and selling, trying to capitalize on it's at least 100,000 in volume, so that's not a bad day for anybody looking to do some kind of swing trading. And Bone trading near $1 right now. If you are looking to get into the Bone, then the number here is going to be down here. at least give this thing an opportunity to correct itself a bit, maybe get down in the 90s here, because you do not want to get in too high. This does not last, and it's not end in the way that everybody who is in this project would hope. When you look at the price action over here and you see where it came from, we have this little line here at about 70 cents. Like, if you're going to get into bone, this is where you want to do. You want to be shrewd on this one. You don't want to make a play that's going to get you wrecked. This is probably the best play, is to wait, have a little patience, see if you can let it get to 70 cents. And if you can, then that's going to end up to its best advantage and probably end up pretty good. So that's what we got for technical analysis right now. We're going to move on, and we are going to get into the news, and we got an intro for that too. All right, guys, here we go with the news. Uniswap and rug pulls. An interesting take. This is coming from Watcher Guru, and they are saying that there was a report in 2022 that said that 97%, possibly 97.7% of the tokens launched on the Uniswap DEX ended up as rug pulls. Now, if you go back and you can look at my videos, you can see that of the tokens that I used to talk about 7 or 8 different little tokens back last year. And a lot of them are not necessarily rug pulls. They're just dead. There's very little enthusiasm. There's very little to be worked on. There's no trading volume. There's not much going on for a lot of those tokens. One of the exceptions is going to be Starlink. Starl is having their Unreal 5 game, which you're going to see pretty soon. But I mean, look around, guys. For every Volt Inu, there's a whole bunch of strange Inus. There's a whole bunch of Pongo Inus. They just fail. And some of them don't even get far enough that we even know or we even see them on the radar. The only way that you ever see them is if you spend all your time just staring at live new pairs, waiting for some kind of small, minor, little play to pop up in order to see what might happen. So the study was initially done by an individual who worked on a 2021 research paper and used a machine learning algorithm to analyze the data. The algorithm, however, ended up identifying potential rug pulls on the exchange. Out of 20,000 Uniswap tokens, only 631 are believed to be safe. And sure would be nice to have a list of those just to really kind of see what they consider to be safe so that we could analyze the data. Maybe if we have a little bit of time, or if I have a little bit of time, maybe we will follow up on this later and try to check it out. But moving on, Bitcoin to crash to 14,000 days after the U.S. midterm elections. This is just an article that, and you can read this at your leisure, but this is what Il Capo of Crypto says. He says the plan for November is to pump to 21 to 21.5 for the last phase of the distribution. ETH to the 1700s. Altcoins having the last scam pumps as well. People calling for alt season. Then the start of the reversal to new lows. And then the mega nuke after the midterm elections. Bitcoin to 14K and ETH to 7 or 800K. Good luck. Now, the midterms are on November 8th. So that being said, that would indicate and that would mean that we probably, not with confirmation, but we probably are having a swan song right now if any of this really kind of plays out. So the one thing that you might see is, and the reason that this might be happening is for capitulation. This might be institutionally controlled, and this might be that the institutions are preparing to nuke everything down to its lows. Now, remember, if you talk to people like B Roots or even me, then we think that the bottom is in, but we're not really sure 100%, or at least he's sure 100%. I am about 80% sure, with that 20% saying that I think that we could have like a flash crash. And I think that maybe what they're talking about right here is this mega nuke of Bitcoin to 14,000 and ETH to 7 or 800. Now, that could be institution just throwing money out right now, clearing some of their coffers, so to speak, in order to give them an opportunity for a pump a little bit later on. That if that hits the bottom, then we're going to be at 17.5 or we're going to be at 18, whatever the previous bottom was. We're probably going to be at that number within a day. So this would be just a flash to get to the bottom. But the good thing is, if that happens, then that would mean that the bull run is technically on, and all of the indicators that we've seen saying that we are going up from here would actually be validated at that point. So that's, to me, what that appears to mean. Now, we might move around here a little bit as we go through this, but I'm trying to keep them organized as best I can for you. South Korean prosecutors revealed Terra co-founder Kwon is in Europe. And this says that South Korean prosecutors say that Terra founder Kwon is living in Europe as an illegal immigrant. Now, I went over to the Korean website to see the technical language, English. Yes. This is the breaking news of the prosecutor's investigation into the cryptocurrency Terra Luna. This is the same site that we seem to go to all of the time. One of the charges that the key figure, Kwon, is being accused of is fraud. Prosecutors have secured evidence suggesting that CEO Kwon manipulated Terra's market price. Kwon's passport has been invalidated as of today and is understood he is currently in Europe. This is the exclusive report of reporter Lee Do-yoon. A distinctive feature of virtual currency is the surge in prices. Even Bitcoin, this is too much here, too much here, too much here. Kwon, which supports the Terra ecosystem, alleviates the price and supply volatility of stablecoin. This is, regardless of the algorithm, the price of Terra was artificially adjusted for a specific target price. In terms of stocks, it is a kind of price manipulation. As one of the evidence, the prosecution secured a messenger conversation between Kwon and an employee. A prosecutor's office said, I can't reveal the details, but it is a conversation history where CEO Kwon specifically ordered price manipulation. Kwon's representative have denied these allegations through interviews until recently. Kwon, who has an arrest warrant, said, as of today, my passport has been invalidated. He is now an illegal immigrant wherever he is in any country, and he cannot travel legally between countries. Before the invalidation of his passport, CEO Kwon moved to a third country via Dubai for the last time, and the place was identified as a European country. This is Do-yoon Lee from KBS News. So we do have some ideas that he is now in Europe. And as of today, his passport has been invalidated. Now, previously, it was anticipated that he would have it invalidated on October 18 or 19, because that was the amount of time that it took. Looks like it ended up taking just a little bit longer. So there is not yet a red notice issued, but I would assume that that would probably be the next logical step if they are serious about getting him and he has not turned himself in. So we should see something on this very shortly, because there aren't many European countries that don't have an extradition treaty of any sort and that wouldn't honor a red notice. So moving on from there, Ethereum is 1,700 attainable this week. The last week of October was a game changer. The month, which was initially monotonous, closed on a positive note thanks to the collective surge registered by top assets. Ethereum investors reached all-time high of 88.5 million. So we've got a lot of news here. On the price front, the Ethereum has made a parabolic recovery and is currently around the same level where it was rejected in mid-September. Since Saturday, the number 2 ranked cryptocurrency has been trying to break above the noted hurdle, but has mostly remained unsuccessful. Only if it does so will the trajectory of 1684 and eventually 1700 open. So we're looking for a breakout right now to try to see if the price action is going to justify. And by the way, this is going to happen in the next 4 or 5 days. Now, here's the thing. When something like this happens and you see an article like this and it looks like the breakout is going to be imminent, that usually means the opposite, right? So I would be very nervous right now if I were holding a lot of Ethereum, which I happen to be. So, I mean, damn, you know what I mean? But we'll see if there's not a run. I think the markets digested some of the information that we got out of the Fed over the last 24 hours. We didn't really, we rejected some of that. It's going to take a day or two, but then I got a feeling that tomorrow and the day after, we're going to start to see some positive movement, a little bit of sideways action over the weekend. And then, of course, Sunday night, Monday morning, that's when we maybe see a pump, if we're going to get a pump before the election, because the elections are going to be next Tuesday. So moving on from there, Ether, other cryptos rise despite unsettling inflationary concerns. And this is just kind of indicating that people are noticing right now that more storm clouds formed over the global economy on Thursday as the U.S. Labor Department announced a small dip in weekly jobless claims, just a few hours after the Bank of England boosted its interest rate by a jumbo-sized 75 basis points, matching recent U.S. hikes. The two unrelated events underscore the difficulty central banks are facing in cooling the economy and stemming inflation, and they sent equities downward. So, here's the thing. The job market is still red hot. We are not shedding employees, which is what they want to do. They want your company to fail right now, because that's how, and not big company. They don't want the big company to fail. They want that small company. They want your company. They want it to fail, because if it fails, then they are salvaged out of it. And thus the economy, because your failure, that's good for their economy. So don't forget that. Never forget how manipulated you are in these markets. Hawkish monetary policy and macroeconomic uncertainty rage on, but crypto investors ultimately have little else on their mind than cost basis. The job market may soon offer more concrete evidence that central bank measures are working. Job cuts by online retail giant Amazon and rideshare service Uber sent equity markets falling. The tech-focused NASDAQ dropped 1.7, while the S&P was off 1%. So some of what they're trying to do is starting to, we're getting a whiff that it's starting to take a little bit of an effect. And because we always got to have something, I guess, from CZ, Binance says CBDCs are not a threat to crypto. Now, which it's just crazy to think that we create these conspiracies that we live off of and we thrive off of, that central bank digital currencies are going to somehow destroy crypto. I mean, they're basically an asset that pegs a dollar and shows you a specific value that it stays at so that you can transact digitally. Now, I saw Michaela NFT with her pink bunny ears and whatever shit she wears, had an interesting take on it where she said, and I can't emulate that voice no matter how hard I would try, but what she said was, is she finds it weird that we're talking about, when you talk about what is a Web3 wallet, well, it's a digital wallet, and digital wallets exist everywhere. And, bank transactions are digital, but they are still run by fiat, which means that when a bank settles with another bank, they still take the money from one bank and give it to another bank with a Brinks truck, even. Like, that's how we still do money. So it's not full on digital, despite what she was saying. She had the right idea. She had the right concept here, but the entirety of the market is not digital. And crypto and CBDCs allow it to become fully digital, because if I'm Bank of America, could send $1 million to Chase Bank of my CBDC, which is worth $1. And then when they have a problem, they send to me whatever amount they're due, and it will always be $1. So that's kind of what we're going to see happen. We just haven't seen it yet because we're not really in a digital society. So let's move on over here. And now, without further ado, here is the world premiere of the WAGMI Defense Tower Defense game. And just so you guys understand, I am an absolute mark when it comes to tower defense games. That's right, folks. Not only did you see the world premiere of the WAGME exclusive cinematic trailer, but you also heard an original game based around original song based around the game, and it is a banger of a song. Very professionally done. I'm not my type of music, but I actually sat back and loved it, and I've heard it about 5 times now, and it grows on me every single time because they are talking about the game that I like playing. So that was pretty cool, and I hope that you liked it too, and I hope that this helps explain a little bit of why the price has been pumping like it has. But let's move on. I want to talk about Volt. For the last little while, you guys saw the Volt price was pumping and pumping and pumping, and the reason for that was Cytex Global is now listing Volt Inu, and I picked the wrong one. There was another one, and now the name escapes me because I double dipped and then AT Nyrex has about 54,000 followers, in fact, and is a new and upcoming centralized exchange. And they also will be taking deposit on November 10, and trading will be enabled on November 11. So there we have that. Then we have over here, Lillian Finance will be having an AMA on Saturday, November 5, 11 a.m. Central Time. The link is down below. So if you want to go check that out on the Crypto Flex channel. I would assume that's the name of it. Yeah, I mean, support these guys and help them out. Bear with me, and Crypto Flex. So I can't wait to see what happens over there. I will be attending. Also, I will be hosting on my channel here, Utilities in Action, presented by the devs themselves. Hulk Inu, Lynx Crypto, and Starl will be coming with me, and they are going to be showing you what their utilities are and how those utilities work. And I hope that you guys will come and check it out because I think it's going to be interesting. And look, you're always looking for a new play, and you're always looking for a reason to invest a little bit of money. And listen, I think that each one of these in their own right has a lot to offer to you. So if you have the time, go check us out. And if you haven't already, go check out Debt Connect because I really love doing educational content, and certainly helps when we have investors involved. And finally, one of the things that Terra Luna Classic has been talking about has been the Cosmos upgrade. And I wanted you guys to see the Cosmos upgrade in the ecosystem. These are the Cosmos ecosystem coins by market cap. Chronos is one. Terra Luna Classic, Osmosis, Thorchain, Kava, Cadena, Anchor, Injective, Secret, Band, and Metablock. I mean, I want you guys to understand this. This is massive. The amount of the amount of tokens in that Cosmos ecosystem, and I think that bodes well for the future. I could see partnerships coming with Luna Classic and Crypto.com coming in the future. I think we're going to see a lot of different things start to play out over the course of the next few months, next year, to see Luna Classic have that revival that we keep and constantly are talking about. But let's move on. All right, guys, that's it for the show. Let me do one more because this is... I didn't have anything to say. I just wanted to do that one more time just to show you guys that we're doing all these new little videos and stuff like that and having new intros. The places might change, stuff like that. I want to keep you guys informed to the best of my ability, and I felt that the best way to do this would be to give you a little bit of a preamble to let you know what was going on, show you a bunch of these things. We did some technical analysis. We did news today. I hope that today you got a little bit more informed than on previous days, and we'll continue to do this over the next little while because I do want to develop a more informed group of people, and that's on me to help you. So this is not financial advice. My name is Bleaves. I am always right, and we will talk to you guys again very, very soon. For those of you that do come, I will see you for Breakfast with Bleaves in the morning.
I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world, I wanna be shining.